Preparing to go live. I believe we're ready. Let's start with the recording. Let's have it go. Yeah, I'm really not going to get used to this, but yeah, we're back up and running. That's fine. We're ready to go, Mahir. We're live on
Yep.
YouTube. Brilliant. 3, 2, 1. I don't even need to say 3, 2, 1. It's already recorded, which is great. But yeah, welcome back, everyone. It's back with Hamz and it's back with Mahir again. We're previewing the Europa League live on YouTube today. So whoever's tuning in on their lunch breaks, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Mahir, how you been? Thanks for joining once again. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just watching the Champions League last night. A very entertaining match, actually. The Bayern PSG game was just mad.
Yeah, Bayern PSG was amazing, and that was the first time I did a watch along live on
Yeah,
YouTube with the guys, and I had such a fun time doing that. It was one of those things where I'm just there, like, you know what? I don't want to do this, I really don't, but it's just the fact that we enjoyed it, we had a good time. It was just something that I thought, you know what, we're gonna have a good game. And it's a brilliant game. It was
it
amazing to
was a
see
good, really good
Mbappe.
game. Yeah,
Mbappe is someone special right now in the world of
Mbappe,
football, and I really don't want
Mbappe was good. Yeah.
I don't want his what's the term, his star to diminish, or like
Mm,
I want his stardom to just carry on like Ronaldo or Messi. I want him to be one of the next best things in world football, and
yeah.
for me, I just can't wait. It's going to be fun to see how he does. And yesterday, one of the guys said on the watch along that PSG could actually win the Champions League. I personally don't think they could,
Yeah. I,
but like you
I
said
think, I
previously.
think, I think Bayern will go through actually, but it'll be good to see because I think Marquinhos might be out, so that's a
Mhm.
massive miss.
Yeah, it was
But
definitely a
yeah,
massive miss. What, 29 shots on goal yesterday for Bayern Munich as well. That was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, let's get into the today's preview. What we have today
yeah,
is the quarterfinals for the Europa League. My
yeah,
team's playing, your team's playing, and we've got two other neutral games, which are quite fascinating to see. But let's start with Arsenal versus Slavia Prague, here. What are you
yeah.
going to say about this Arsenal team coming up against the Slavia Prague team? Let's start with yourself.
So this is the biggest game of the season. Quite frankly, this is you don't understand how big this is. Like, if Arsenal lose this game, you're just gonna see meltdowns on Arsenal fan TV, Hugh Wizzy, any Arsenal social media personality you can think of. This is gonna go for any neutral fan. If Arsenal lose, just go on YouTube, Twitter, you see everything. But this is massive, man. And this is you lose this game, you're gonna have a lot of people turn on Arteta.
Mm,
That's how big this game is. And even me, I'm an Arteta in. Even despite all what happened early in the season, I was always Arteta in because
mm.
I'm someone that sees the bigger picture. But even me, if we get knocked out, I'm not gonna be like Arteta out, but
You'll
there'll be
start
serious
doubting him.
questions. Yeah, it'll be big doubts. But yeah, I feel like, but I think we'll win. I honestly think we'll win.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, just to add to that as well, you got Tierney out, who may be out for the rest
Yeah,
of the season. You got David Luiz, who just had surgery, so you're missing
yeah,
two of your ball playing defenders. It could
mm,
be someone like Saka at left back. It could be Cedric at left back, Gabriel and Holding at back as
yeah,
well. Personally, for me, seeing Slavia Prague in the last couple of games, beating Rangers, obviously with their racers player who's out for this game due to
yeah,
injury, and they beat Leicester convincingly at the King Power Stadium as well. So it's just one of those things that Slavia Prague are no jokes in this tournament, and I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Slavia Prague
mm,
besides them as a team. I'm not going to go into individual players or people that I'm going to pretend to know
yeah,
because I just don't personally. But as a team, they're a quality team, they're a quality
yeah,
unit. It's someone that I think Arsenal will be very troubled with. And the fact that Mikel Arteta
yeah,
really has to go all in for this Europa League game at the moment, I think he really should win this game. Maybe not the leg, but I reckon
yeah,
he'll win this tie. I reckon it will be something that Arteta can get
mm,
Arsenal through to the semi-final.
mm,
But for me personally, Arsenal have had 15 different scorers in Europa League this season. You've had
yeah,
no clean sheet since January as well. And for me, as a neutral, I just want to know why are you Arteta in, and literally why are you back in this process with Mikel Arteta?
Why am I Arteta in is because when you watch the team play 90 minutes every single week, yeah, I see what Arteta is trying to do, but you look at the players. Most of these players are from like the days of Arsene Wenger. That's how long ago it is, and these are the same players that failed us consistently. He's slowly trying to rectify that. He's bringing players like Thomas Partey in. He's improved. He's kind of improved the defense, although recently we've been shaky, but we've been better than, like, I remember under Unai Emery, we went to Watford away, and Watford, who got relegated, I think they took about 30 shots against us. And that was how we were. So he's improved the defensive aspect, but it's mainly because of the recruitment. There's been a lot of changes in boardroom level. We've got a new Raul Sanelli, the Don Raul that everyone's been lauding about. He's gone, so we've replaced him with Edu, who is very Edu's taken most of the role now, and he's very inexperienced. But then we've got a new head of football, which that was Raul Sanelli's role, called Richard Garlick, who was I believe he worked in the Premier League. But before that, he was a technical director at West Bromwich Albion. So he came in like a few months back. And then you got Vinay Venkatesham, who is he's now he got promoted as well. He's now more on the football side. But I think because of the introduction of Garlic, he's going to take a backseat. But yeah, there's been a lot of change boardroom level. And for an inexperienced manager, just remember when Arteta came in, he came in during COVID. So he didn't really have much time with the team. So that's why I've been giving him I've been giving him time, but it's not to say I haven't criticized some of his substitutions and his team selections. I mean, playing Willian, for example, that's just weird. But
signing Willian is just weird for me personally. I've said that all season.
Signing Willian, I think that was more of a Kia Jarabchian thing. I think Edu and Kia Jarabchian have a thing going on. They're good friends going back years, and that was just like a friend thing, which is stupid. And I'm more of a Edu critic than I am of Arteta, but again, that's just me.
No, that's good to hear. I'm glad you got it all out in the open. And like you said, you're a passionate Arsenal fan. You haven't been for a couple of years because of the whole change of manager. They haven't been playing the right kind of football. But it's just, I think this is one of those games that Slavia Prague will test you defensively a lot. Would you play a double pivot in that midfield with like Xhaka and Partey, or would you kind of risk it with Sayabos and Partey, or Sayabos and Xhaka in that midfield? How would you kind of go about it?
Xhaka and Partey have to play. If we play an El Neni or a Ceballos instead of one of those two, I think we're done, because Xhaka, people outside of Arsenal don't realise how important Xhaka is to our play. I mean, yeah, he has his mistakes, but when these fans that have this stereotype of players that they haven't watched every week. It's like, they see a mistake and like, oh crap. With Xhaka, I've been critical of Xhaka, but I think this season he stepped up, which might come as a surprise to someone that doesn't support Arsenal, but he's actually been one of our better players. He's been quite underrated actually. So he's gonna come back today. I think I think he had an illness or something, but he should be fit. But with Slavia Prague, they in their last match they drew 0-0. So, but they've got a good defensive record from what I researched, and I think they're unbeaten in 9-21 or something. So they're not a joke. They're not the Slavia Prague that we beat them. We beat Slavia Prague in 2007-08 in the Champions League. We thrashed them 7-0 at home. But again, that was a different time. But
different time.
I'm a bit concerned about their left back. I'm a bit concerned at left back because obviously Tin is out, but I think I'd play Saka at left back instead of Cedric. That's what I'd do.
I wouldn't. Personally, I wouldn't. No. I think Saka, you need him as your attacking threat. I mean, who else have you got besides?
I get that.
Would you play Aubameyang like he did against Liverpool, like tracking back Alexander-Arnold, the right back? You play him as a centre forward. Have Saka on the right. Maybe Pepe playing on the left and Odegaard as the number 10. That's personally how I do. You have to get out then. You're playing at home. You have to make sure that they can actually go for it. But
I wouldn't.
I would do it.
The reason why I play Saka at left back, because I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It takes away from his qualities going forward. But he's played left back before, and he's played actually quite well at left back. And I've watched Cedric at left back, and Cedric is a good right back. But I've watched Cedric play left back, and he's not good at left back. Ask any Arsenal fan. The guy, I'm not blaming him. It's not his fault, but the
He's
guy's
out of
body,
position.
obviously, it's natural. When you're like right-footed right back, your body shape is all of a sudden you have to adjust your body shape. Obviously, you're right-footed, and every time he plays left back, he always cuts in and crosses the ball diagonal, and that's not how we play. It ruins the balance. In terms of Aubameyang, I wouldn't start him. I would play Lacazette up front. Lacazette plays better with like an Emil Smith Rowe with the Saka. He play, I know I did say play Saka left, but Lacazette plays better when Throw plays out wide. Obviously, he holds the ball up and he has more players near him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't play Aubameyang. If Aubameyang did play, it has to be centre forward because he's him out wide just doesn't work, man. I'll play Martinelli. I'd literally play Martinelli out wide. I don't know what he's done with Martinelli, but Martinelli should be playing more often.
It's just with
But I think
Martinelli,
Willian,
he can't track back.
Willian
He can't. You reckon Willian will play?
Yeah. No, I disagree. I think Martinelli. I've seen Martinelli track back a lot. I disagree. I think Martinelli will track back, but I think he might play Willian only because that's his like go-to, and also Willian did a press conference yesterday, so that's an indicator that he might play. So that's yeah.
That's kind of true. But yeah, let's get into score predictions for the game. Arsenal versus Slavia Prague. For me, I think it will be a 2-2 draw. I reckon Arsenal will score. They'll get quite happy, but Slavia Prague will get into it. And like we said, they're unbeaten. They've got their high press like that we've seen them previously. Their wingers are kind of their main players, but like I said, I'm not going to pretend to know them if I haven't seen them properly. But I just know for a fact they're really good on the high press, and I reckon it'll be a 2-2 draw for me. I reckon Arsenal will concede a couple of goals today. What about yourself?
I think David Luiz is a massive miss. He's been our best centre back this season. I don't want him to play If he plays Holding and Gabriel, oh my god, I play Holding on even though they're both. I play Mari and Gabriel, even though they're both left footers. And with Arteta, he doesn't like to play two left. He likes to play a right-footed centre back and a left-footed one. But I think we'll concede, man. I think we win 2-1. But the thing is, our home record this season has been great. But I'll say 2-1. Yeah, I'll say 2-1, which isn't a good result. But
no. It's just one of those things that we've got to go into. But yeah, key battles for me would obviously be with Odegaard, Aubameyang, Saka, if they do start as like the front kind of three, how they can get past this the Slavia Prague team. And that's kind of what I can see going, because again, they kept a clean sheet against Leicester away. They did really well against Rangers in the last couple of games as well. And like we said, they've been unbeaten since December or January as well, Slavia Prague. So that's where I kind of see the big battles today. If Aubameyang can step up, and I believe he will step up today. He's really good in the Europa League, but I just really want him to see how good of a player he can be in the Europa League. That's kind of my big battle for the game today. What about yourself? Any key battles you got for yourself?
I think their defense is quite good actually, from what I've seen. But yeah, that's the thing. We need to start on the front foot, because otherwise, with Arsenal, we tend to start slow this season, and then second half that's when we come into our own. But like because it's the biggest game of the season, we have to start on the front foot and press, and that'll be the key, is just whether we press in the first 10 minutes. If we press in the first 10 minutes, that's a good indicator of we're gonna play front foot for the whole game, because that's what we normally do when we do press in the first 10 minutes. I think because of the magnitude of the game, I think that's how I don't have confidence, but that's what I do. But
yeah, no,
it's the defense. It's against their defense. That's going to be if we can crack their defense, basically.
Definitely, I reckon you can, but I reckon you'll concede a few as well. Hence my 2-2 prediction for the game. But yeah, let's move on to the next game, and no other place to go to besides Manchester, and Man United versus Grenada. Grenada playing away at their ground as well. This is going to be a tough one for me. I reckon we will win, but it's just the fact I don't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do another one of those Istanbul Başakşehir squad rotations where you see him drop a couple of major players. You see him underestimating the opponent because how they're doing in their league. I think they're 9th or 10th in the league, Grenada, at the moment. They haven't been that great. They've lost a couple of games against Villareal and Valencia as well. But they did do really well in the Europa League, obviously, to get to quarterfinals. They beat Napoli, they beat Molde, and probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants a bit of revenge for his former club as well. But for me, it's got to be a normal full-strength team. This is how we are going to get into the Champions League next season, by winning the Europa League. We could obviously finish second, but it's just the fact that I don't want to see him try to just go for the second place or just try and go for the top four and not go for this like last season. That's what he did, and that's why we kind of failed against Sevilla and we didn't do really well against Copenhagen. I think we played in the round before as well. But yeah, Grenada, they're not on the best of forms at the moment. They've done really well to get as far as they can. I don't want to be that classic Man United fan and think, oh yeah, you know what, they're not doing that well in the league, because we've seen previously in years when we played Celta Vigo, they nearly beat us, they nearly got through to the final, losing to Sevilla obviously last season, and even a couple of years back under Sir Alex Ferguson, losing to Athletic Bilbao, with the likes of Lorente, Herrera, Munayin, these kind of players as well. Javi Martinez when he was back there as well. And it's one of those things that we can't, Bielsa's team as well. We lost to a Bielsa team. But it's one of those things that I can't see us losing. But I really think we need to play our normal normal starting 11, our normal front three. Don't rest up any players. McTominay was benched against Brighton. Start him with Pogba. Probably start Van der Beek as well. But yeah, that's kind of how I would see it personally. How would you see this game as a neutral from Grenada versus Man United?
This is easy. This is light work. This is United will go through. United have secured top four. The only issue I have with this is I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comics the other day. I think he said he was talking about winning trophies and some sort of ego or something. And I looked at that, and even United fans said the same thing. It's like, what is he on about?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is this what a Man United manager should be saying? I think because you've secured top four, you're gonna get second. You might as well just go for the Europa. It's a European trophy. It's another trophy to the cabinet. It's Grenada. They lost 3-0 against Villarreal the other day.
Unai Emery's Villarreal.
Soldado. They've got Soldado up front. I mean, they've got a Spurs reject up front. Who else did they have?
They got Kennedy on loan from Chelsea. They got Gonalons, who used to play for Lyon as well.
Maxim Gonalons, yeah. So they've got
Folk here, right back, who used to play for Watford, if I remember correctly as well. But that's more or less all I know about the individual players from Grenada, personally.
I mean, the only Grenada I know is the Al-Andalus palaces in the Islamic Spain, but that's about it. But
need to go there on holiday sometime. It looks beautiful. Grenada. It's
literally my dream destination. Like I've read history stories about what Grenada used to look like in the Islamic time. But I think United will win. I think Bruno Fernandes. He's gonna. You know what? Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. I know this sounds controversial, but I just don't rate him as other people do. I feel like, yeah, man. I'm like honestly, like I watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of football. I grew up watching football. When I watch football, I watch it with my own eyes, And yes, he's got the stats, he's got the assists, he's got the goals. But I've seen so many games of Bruno where he's just like anonymous, and then in the 85th minute he would make a pass, a killer pass, or he would score a goal, and he's like, oh, Bruno Fernandes. I'm like, if you compare him with Kevin De Bruyne, I just don't see there's no contest. But I don't rate Bruno like that. But
answer me this question before we go any further. Would you take Bruno Fernandes in your team on this form right now for Arsenal? If someone said Bruno Fernandes is coming to Arsenal,
of course I would.
Would you take him?
It does. Yeah, of course I would. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm just saying, like.
Do you think he's overhyped by Man United fans? Is that what it is?
Not just by Man United fans, but like the media, like the way he's going on, as if he's like this, like, I don't know, man. I've been I don't know if you know the YouTuber Rants, but he said the same thing. Like he's just a stat pad, man. All he does is just like scores the penalty and he just does a through ball in the 89th minute. He's not. And then I'm seeing him getting compared to Eric Cantona. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on, Eric Cantona, really? Eric Cantona. I mean, I don't want to go off on one, man. But yeah.
No. Basically, what they're saying about Eric Cantona, first of all, is they're comparing his influence in the team. Because when you look at Man United pre Bruno Fernandes, that first 6 months in that season, we were just playing on a counter-attack. We weren't breaking down teams as we were. The fact that Bruno Fernandes is breaking down teams and these smaller teams that play against us in a low block, that's what I think means a lot for Man United fans. We are getting these scrappy 1-0 wins, these 2-1 wins, but before him, we weren't getting that. We haven't replaced Wayne Rooney until Bruno Fernandes came in, because Mata, Mkhitaryan,
He's done well.
Lingard,
He's done well. Yeah.
those three, they didn't step up to the plate, unfortunately. And it's just the fact that with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in, and he was that interim manager for a bit, he's playing Paul Pogba as a number 10 with Matic and Fred, or Matic and Herrera behind him. And it wasn't really working after he got injured as well. Paul Pogba, he got injured for a bit, and then he did really well for us as well. But it's just one of those things that I think with Bruno Fernandes, because he has leadership material, he is captain material for me, and a couple of guys on the podcast have said this already.
I disagree.
It's one of those things.
I don't think he's captain material.
He is captain material for me. I reckon he'll be a vice captain.
Man, I've seen him. I feel like when you're like shouting and screaming, like I've seen him like put his arms up when a pass goes wrong to his teammates, and I'm like, did you see Roy Keane's comments about Bruno Fernandes the other week? This is a guy that's like knows how to be a captain. He even said the same thing as I did. Like, you don't just like the stuff he was coming at press. I mean, I remember actually, I think it was West Brom when you dropped points away at West Brom, and I think the next day, when the match finished, Bruno Fernandes on Instagram, he posted his goal, and he's like cheering, he's like celebrating his goal on Insta stories, and I'm like, mate, you drew 1-1 at West Brom, like, come on, and you're telling me that's a Man United captain? You know who I'd give the captain armband to at United? I think Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw's captain material. With Luke Shaw, he's been there for a while. He's improved vastly, and the way he plays is like the way he drives from left. I think that's someone that should be considered as a captain. I don't think Harry Maguire's captain.
Yeah, with me, it's just the fact, like we've discussed it previously, that Harry Maguire, big money signing for Man United. Can he do it? Can he actually get a trophy for Man United? This is the easiest chance to get a trophy, because I think we've got Ajax or Roma in the next round of the Europa League, if I remember correctly, and you've got the Villareal Zagreb side. But for me, we're semi-final FC at the moment, quarter-final FC this season as well, with the FA Cup against Leicester. I really think we can win this game. It's just one of those things that I'm thinking, you know what, because our team is the most talked about team in the world. The fact that Paul Pogba's getting talked about every single day in the media.
I rate Pogba.
The whole Cavani thing with Boca Juniors. Little things like that. Martial, if he's good enough to be our number 9, but is out for a couple of weeks as well. The whole De Gea, Dean Henderson thing. De Gea should start. Out. Yeah, Martial's out for a couple of weeks as well. Okay. So he may have to start.
He hasn't been having the greatest of season, Martial, has he?
Nah, he hasn't. Not really. Yeah. None of our strikers have, to be fair. It's reliant on Bruno Fernandes and Rashford.
Greenwood's been playing good though.
He's been playing good. He hasn't got the numbers he got last season. I think because most teams kind of rate him now. They actually prepare against Mason Greenwood coming in from that right hand side and just cutting in Arjen Robben and Van Persie type style as well. But for me in this game, I think it's going to be a 3-1 Manchester United win. I reckon we can win this game. The key battles for me will be
4-0.
Yeah, it's going to be something like Paul Pogba versus Gonalons in that midfield for me. Wan-Bissaka, if he starts, probably against Kennedy on that left, or Luke Shaw against Kennedy on the right, depending on where he's going to play. But we've got a couple of yellow card players as well. Shaw, Maguire, McTominay, Lindelof, all on yellow cards at the moment. So it's, for me, I don't want to sound blasé, but I'd rather them get a yellow card in this game and
for win. Second leg. Exactly.
Then be fresh for the semi-final against Ajax or Roma. But that just might be the optimist Man United fan in me to think that we can win away in Grenada. But like you said, 4-0, I said 3-1. My key battles I've already said. But do you notice anything about these battles personally from yourself for Man United?
I think in terms of the game, I think they'll play Soldado up front, won't they? He's been that's their centre forward. So I mean, come on, Soldado. I mean, I've seen him play like 7 years ago at Tottenham, but so you're gonna play Maguire and Lindelof?
Yeah, it'll be Maguire and Lindelof. I think Bailly is out with COVID, so I don't think he was gonna play two ends out.
He's always out.
He's always out.
Yeah. Right. So are you gonna play Fred McTominay in the midfield then, or because I've seen that partnership work and it hasn't really. I don't really see the need of playing both.
I wouldn't play them. I play McTominay, Van der Beek, Pogba on the left, Bruno Fernandes in the middle.
Is he? I don't think he will play Van der Beek though, because he never starts him.
He never starts him, but for me, I would in this game. because you'll have a
Okay,
lot
yeah.
more free space. You'll probably get Van der Beek, and like we saw when we've seen Van der Beek play this season, he plays well with other attacking midfielders. He's not the guy in midfield to give
Yeah.
the ball to. He works in tandem with Pogba. He works in tandem with Bruno Fernandes, and we saw that in 2019 with Ajax as well. So that's how I would set that team up, and probably Greenwood on the right, Cavani up front, or James on the right maybe. But that's kind of
Yeah.
how I'd see it. I'm not sure if Rashford's fit or not, but that's kind of how I would do it personally. To have a bit more fluidity.
Rashford played. Did Rashford play the other day? He scored.
He did, but he got subbed and he walked down the tunnel.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not sure if he's going to be fit for the game or not. But that's kind of how I see it. But
Okay.
yeah, that was our little preview of the Man United versus Grenada game, obviously at Grenada Stadium. But let's go into one of the big neutral games now for both of us: Ajax versus Roma. Oh man,
Yeah.
remember when these teams were sick and they were in the Champions League year in, year out?
These two are like European heavyweights. Yeah.
Roma flying the flag for Italy at the moment as well, like the last good European team, European competition for an Italian team as well. But yeah, let's hear your first initial thoughts on Ajax versus Roma. They're playing at the Amsterdam Arena. Ajax are in top form with their young guns at the moment. Roma missing Mkhitaryan, missing Smalling, and I think they're missing Zaniolo as well. I forgot if he's out or not. I think he's injured. Zaniolo,
yeah.
Yeah, let me hear your thoughts on what the game will be like for you.
I think so Roma they've been a bit up and down in Serie A, haven't they? They're
like 8th or something at the moment as well.
Okay, more down than up. But yeah, I feel Roma, they're a funny team. I think they're a sort of team that are like, because of the club that they are, they've got a lot of huge expectations from their fans. But they've got I think they've got quite a few injuries and suspensions. I mean, Chris Smalling apparently he's in and out because of injuries. He might play because they've got a centre back that's missing. I think they'll probably play Mayoral up front.
Mayoral. I think Xhaka may or may not play, or may not start.
So they'll probably play Mayoral up front. And Mkhitaryan, he's been from what I've seen, Mkhitaryan's been playing quite well at Roma since he started.
He's injured for this game as well, so they're going to be reliant on Pedro and probably, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Exactly.
Spiniola.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So I think, but I play
Spinazzola. Sorry, Spinazzola and Pellegrini being their creative forces in this game.
I place Ajax favourites over them, to be honest. I love the way Ajax play. Den Hag's a really good coach. Dusan Tadic is obviously their key player.
Yep.
I think he's going to play. So I feel Ajax will win actually. And then it would probably be Ajax. I'd say it would be an Ajax United semi-final, which is the repeat of the final, isn't it? A couple of years ago, but
2017, the background I've got in the moment. But yeah, with my thoughts on this game, Ajax, they really can't mess this up. I mean, they beat a really good Lille side who are leading League on at the time.
Exactly.
They beat young boys. Obviously, they made the young boys look like boys, and Ajax were men. Obviously, got to throw that little joke in there when you're playing against young boys as well. But Ajax are unbeaten since December as well. Roma have won the last 1 in 4, the 7th in the Serie A. Ajax's attack and their midfield is brilliant. They've got the young Gravenberch, who every FIFA fan knows of being a tank at the moment. But when you actually watch him play, he's a quality player to watch. It's fun to see. Their left back Tagliafico, who's been there and done that. He was in that Champions League semi-final team that lost against Spurs. David Neres, Tadic, Anthony, their left winger from Brazil as well. Brobbey, I think that's his name. Brobbey, the striker, who could probably start. I see him on the bench because of Tadic personally. But I really don't see how Ajax can lose this game, especially at the Amsterdam Arena. Roma have got the quality there. They've got the European experience, like we said, two European heavyweights. But the fact that they've been off form at the moment, it's just one of those things that I reckon Roma, after beating a really good Shakhtar Donetsk team, I reckon Ten Hag and the Ajax team will actually do a lot better in both the games as well. And if Ajax beat Man United, I reckon they are going to win the Europa League, whoever they face in the next round, Arsenal or Villareal or Zagreb or whoever. But for me, that's more or less it for me. I reckon Ajax will win this game 2-1. I reckon it will be a good game. I'm not going to be watching it because I'll be on the watch line for the Man United game as well. But
they're all at the same time, innit?
Yeah, they're all at the same time, unfortunately. Because some were like at 6 o'clock, some are at 8 o'clock. But it's just fun to see when you're watching. Obviously, Ajax have won like the last 6 games. They're first in the Eredivisie as well. I really don't see Ajax messing this up. What about yourself? Any other thoughts on this game?
Yeah, what's interesting is I think Roma play three at the back in their system. So I think they probably play a 3-4-2-1, and Ajax play. I'm pretty sure Ajax play obviously the traditional 4-3-3
Yeah.
for their. So that will be interesting because I think Roma. I couldn't believe Stefan Al-Sharawi still playing like at that level. He's apparently he's injured as well. But yeah, I just feel like I feel if Roma were to win, they have to like. Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be something special from Dzeko, from Pedro, from Mahir.
But even like someone like Verity, Jordan Verity is a very good dead ball specialist. So he needs to like, if he whips them balls in from like a corner or a free kick, Ajax's centre back's not really good aerially. But I still think Ajax are favourites. I think they'll go through. Yeah, I think they'll go through.
It's got to be an Ajax win for me. Like I said, 2-1, maybe 3-2, something like that. Again, it's going to be a good game with these two. They're both really good teams to watch, and they're really good kind of squads to follow as well. Because every season you see the likes of Roma and Ajax losing their best players to the bigger clubs in Europe as well, going for big money.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see players like Gravenbach coming through. It's nice to see players like Anthony coming through. Neres is still there, obviously. Brobby. Obviously coming through as well, but that's kind of how I see it. I reckon they could end up being sold in the summer if, for example, they get to the semi-final and they get noticed again. But it's one of those things that with Ajax, I reckon Ajax will get through and they'll get through to the semi-final and face Manchester United. But yeah, that was a little preview for the Ajax versus Roma game. So now we're on our fourth and final game of the Europa League tie, and for me, this is the one that will be dark horses, really. Villarreal. Let me hear your thoughts on Villarreal versus Dynamo Zagreb, and Unai Emery doing so well for Villarreal at the moment. Go on, Mahir. You know you want to talk about him. Go for it.
Mate, if we get Villarreal, and we get knocked out by Unai Emery, oh my god, there will be the biggest meltdown ever. But as for this game, for me, Villarreal, I think they'll win this game. I think they've got players like what is it? Am I wrong? But don't they have like Carlos Bacca or?
No, they have Gerard Moreno. I think Bacca still plays for them. But Gerard Moreno is the player on form at the moment.
Yeah, Moreno's on form. Yeah.
Bacca does play. You got Alcácer, you got Moreno, you got Bacca as well.
Alcácer, yeah. So they've got names that are like they're quite established compared to Zagreb. Obviously, the main man at Zagreb is Orsic, who is like he's my don, innit? Orsic. But
why is he your don? Why don't you spell it out for us? You know you want to spell it out for us.
I'm not gonna throw shade at anyone. He's just my don, innit? He's just my don. I love him. I love his family. I love his wife. I love his children. I love his pet dog. I love him, innit? So he's just my don.
Orsic was the guy that knocked out Tottenham and Jose Mourinho from the last round with that hat trick and an amazing goal in extra time as well. And it was a brilliant game to watch as a neutral. Few family members who are Spurs fans, they were very upset with the whole going to extra time and the amount of players of quality that they had. Kane, Bale, and Ndombele, etc. on that pitch couldn't break down this Dynamo Zagreb team. And it's just little things like that with Villarreal and their team. I reckon they can. I don't think they're going to get a result in Zagreb, to be honest with you. I really don't. I reckon with Unai Emery, he can win the tie, but I don't think he's going to win this leg. Because even with the players that they've got a young player, I don't know how to pronounce his name, it's like Gvardiol, who's a centre-back, left-back. They've got Caballero in defence as well.
They've got the experienced Raul Albiol as well. He
played at Real Madrid. Raul Albiol, of course, he was there as well. There's that young player, Major, 23 years old, the number 10, who's brilliant as well.
They've got Juan Foyth at right back, who used to play for Spurs, I believe. But they've got Etienne Capoue.
Villarreal. Villarreal got Etienne Capoue. They've got Alberto Romero.
They've got Francis Coquelin, so ex-Arsenal.
So
they've got like a.
They've got an established team. They've got a mature team, let's say. As well.
With Villarreal, they started La Liga on fire, and then it's just they haven't been that great past couple of months, so they've gone down the table. But I think because obviously of his record in Europe, Villarreal should go through, man. Like Zagreb, they're like yeah, they've had their moment. So I'd put Villarreal through. Yeah.
Yeah, because with Villarreal at the moment, they've got the the hot prospect at the moment, Pau Torres, the centre back, who seems to be
Pau
linked
Torres. Yeah.
with Manchester United every week of the season so far as a
Yeah.
left-footed
Yeah.
centre back, and the whole hype of having a left foot and a right-footed centre back is big
Yeah.
at the moment. And
Yeah.
for me, it'll be a good game to see how he does against Orsic, how he does against Major as well. Literally trying to
Is there
see.
is their manager still in jail, or what's the
Manager
story of
still
that?
is still in jail. He's still in jail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He'll be doing a team talk from the back as well. But like you said about Baka before, Baka probably should start the game as the lone striker, Moreno on the right. That Nigerian winger whose name I see all the time on FIFA, but I can't pronounce. Is it Chukwueze?
Chukwueze. Yeah.
Chukwueze, yeah, he should be
Chukwueze.
playing
Yeah.
as well. Like you said, Pau Torres and Albio at the back. But it's just one of those things that I see a really good game from this game personally. I reckon Villarreal, with the way they're playing at the moment, Unai Emery is in his element. Arsenal's too big of a club for him. He couldn't handle it. But at Villarreal, he's doing really well. He's won the Europa League previously as well, I think with Sevilla at the time. But this will be a big test for Villarreal, actually, if they can actually break this Zagreb team down. Because again, Spurs couldn't do it at their ground. How do you see this game going for yourself? What kind of tactical analysis could you give us, or is it just going to be an Unai Emery masterclass?
I think with Unai Emery, I think he'll be, knowing Unai Emery as I do, I feel like first leg he'll be a bit more cautious because that's what he did when he was at Arsenal. Second leg, I think he'll be a bit more attacking. But ultimately, I think Villarreal will go through, and if they do go through, obviously the whole Unai Emery coming back to Arsenal, but also there's another side note in the fact that we played Villarreal semi-final of the Champions League when we got to the final, which was a good memory for me. But I think Villarreal will go through. So I can see a Villarreal Arsenal semi-final. I like Zagreb because of what they did, but I think that's the end of the road for them. Because I think Zagreb, didn't they? I don't know what was their last result, but I can't remember what it was. But it wasn't. I don't think it was a win. But I thought Villarreal will go through.
Yeah, because Villarreal, they've been unbeaten in the Europa League this season as well. They've won most of their games. They've been drawing as well. But Zagreb have got the form side on them. They lost their last game, their last domestic game, but Villarreal have won their last 5 games in general anyway. But for me, it's got to be like a 4-3-3 for Villarreal at the moment. Like Alcázar or Bacca probably as the lone striker. Keep Moreno playing. Capu in that whole midfield. Pau Torres and Albiol have to play as well to kind of combat Orsic, to combat Mejia as well. And literally just to see how they can do against this Zagreb side that have knocked out Spurs, that have kind of knocked out one of the bigger clubs in the Europa League this season as well. I know you won't like us saying that because obviously you're an Arsenal fan, but it's just the fact that literally Spurs could have been playing Villarreal in this tie, and you could have had a semi-final as a North London derby. How do you feel about that personally? Do you reckon that's a missed opportunity, or do you reckon it's kind of a blessing in disguise? Do you reckon you could have beaten Spurs, or like not really beaten Spurs?
Do you know what? Yeah, it would have been if there were fans allowed to go in that match. I'm just telling you, there'll be a lot of black eyes outside the ground if that was the case. Because I've been to a couple of North London derbies, and I'm telling you, it's not it's not a pretty sight outside the ground. But
sorry, I was just sneezing there. But yeah, it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, it would be, but through, through, and Villarreal will go through. Yeah, I reckon Villarreal will go through.
Villarreal will go through, but I reckon on the night it should be, I go for a 3-1 Dynamo Zagreb win. I reckon Zagreb are the dark horses of this tournament. Yeah, I'd go for that.
Wow, I did not expect you to say that.
No, literally.
I thought all this time, I thought you were leading to Villarreal because you were bigging them up, and then all of a sudden you dropped that bombshell.
No, literally, I don't see any evidence to think Villarreal can win this game, this first leg. I did say they'd win on in aggregate.
So you're saying the return leg, Villarreal will score two goals, 2-3 goals,
2 or more, keep a clean sheet. I reckon they can do that. But for me, I reckon Zagreb can go through in this game.
Yeah,
I reckon this game. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up. The first leg, Zagreb can win convincingly.
Yeah,
but I reckon Villarreal will go through to the semi-final. But like I said, it's 2 managers that kind of bold statement. You need a bit of a bold statement in this Europa League tie. But Zagreb, I'm not one for bookies favorites and stuff, but even a couple of the bookies are saying that they're the favorites as well. But I'm like, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about betting. I don't bet.
Honestly,
Like
actually, I do hope I want Zagreb to go through because I can't handle the Unai Emery factor because that's gonna be massive, and obviously I feel like that will be just too much for us. So I prefer Zagreb to go through, honestly.
Nah, honestly, I want Villarreal to go through, but I think Zagreb will win this game today. I want that whole Emery versus Arteta narrative, and that will be fun. And we've seen it previously with like Mourinho coming back to Man United or Mourinho going back to Chelsea. I want one of those for Arsenal because Arsenal haven't had that. You've had just Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, Freddie Ljungberg, and Arteta. So it would be nice to kind of see Arsenal face an old manager and see how they go as well. But Unai Emery, like we said previously, he's won the Europa League a couple of times already. I think it was with Sevilla. Alberto Moreno has also won the Europa League as well. Back has won the Europa League, so they've got the experience in there to get through. But Zagreb are just on that form in the Europa League, and anything can happen in this game. But for me, that's kind of how I see all the games going forward. Man United should win, Arsenal should win, Zagreb should win, and Ajax should win for me personally as well. I reckon those four should win the first legs of these games as well coming forward as well. But do you have anything to add to that, to the Europa League coming forward?
Just that I think Man United overall are favourites for the competition, so they should. Arsenal second, but if everything is where I think it would happen, I think it could be a potential United Arsenal final, which is like, when was the last time we won a cup final? Was it 2005 Cup FA Cup final?
Thanks for reminding us, but yeah, it was a 2005 FA Cup final. Where
the last time we played,
0-0
the last time we played in Europe, I believe, was the 2009 Champions League semi-final, which was, I think that was the last time we met in Europe. Yeah, so that'll be massive.
Do you think that's just like the English narrative at the moment because they're the two strongest teams, Arsenal and Ajax? Because Arsenal and Man United, sorry. Because I think if Ajax were on an opposite side of the draw, it would have been Ajax versus Man United in the final.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would see it. But for me, being a Man United fan, the teams that we've got, really, we should be beating on paper. But we haven't beaten Arsenal for the last 2 or 3 seasons now.
Exactly.
So you really should be confident in a one-off game as well. The fact that we've drawn to this season, we've lost to this season.
I've said that to people. I'm just happy we're not playing United in a 2-legged game because on a one-off game, like as you said, you haven't beaten us in like 3 years or something. So if we did get to the final, I'm confident because also we've been in a final before the FA Cup, so we've beaten like Chelsea and Man City to win the FA Cup, and obviously recently you haven't won a trophy in like 3 years or something. So
no, not since the Europa League.
Pressure.
Yeah, you got that big game experience as well under Arteta already. You know how to win a trophy. You know how to do well against big teams as well.
But the one drawback to that is that if we were to get into the final, you lot would be qualified for the Champions League anyway. So you're not going to have that pressure of needing to win. Whereas us, that's like our everything because we have to get into the Champions League. So I don't know how we'd cope with that, but yeah.
Especially after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments about the whole trophies and egos thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? This is a trophy we need to win. A couple of our guys on the podcast, they always say every game is a final coming up to the end of the season. And I don't want us slipping down to 4th position, having to qualify late for the Champions League or getting into a top 4 battle. The Europa League really should be ours. As a Man United fan, when you look at how we've got to this stage already, being knocked out the Champions League, we should have qualified from that group. We really should have. It was the fact that we let it go ourselves.
That was a disaster, man. That was a disaster.
Disaster against Istanbul, Başakşehir. Leipzig away, PSG at home, disaster, ridiculous. And for me as a Man United fan, to go into another season, next season, without a trophy and being happy with top 4, I'm not happy with that at all. It's something that you want to see us...
I had that experience,
Yeah, you want to see us lift silverware at the end of the season. It's like with yourself. You had a decent season last season, winning the FA Cup. You're happy on the day. You get to see your team, obviously not at Wembley because of the COVID thing, but you're happy to see your team win a trophy. And you can be like, you know what, it's Europe you won. And you've been into a final previously as well, losing to Chelsea. You've been there before. We've been into the semi-final last season, losing to Sevilla. But for me, Ajax, again, big favourites. Villarreal, dark horses for me. But Man United versus Arsenal probably should be the final, with the way that we've both been playing objectively in the Europa League as well. Obviously, our form is a bit different at the moment, but like I said, I think Villarreal will get through to a final and I think Man United will get through to the final. But that's kind of how I see it. Anything else you want to add to that, Mahir?
Yeah, just I'm a bit nervous today, man. Like I don't know what. I'm quite nervous. Honestly, like the whole as soon as I woke up, I just thought, oh, crap, it's Arsenal. Like we have to. But yeah, but I think we will go through. But I'm just don't. When it comes to like an hour before, you know when the team news comes in, yeah, and sometimes with Arteta's like his weird substitution, that makes me a bit more like agitated, innit? An hour before kickoff. But when it comes to it, like I get so passionate during the match. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to today's game against Grenada. I think if you ask any Man United fan out of the draw, who would you want in that draw, you'd have said Grenada, hands down as well. Just the fact that they've got a lot of the lack of European experience, the fact that they probably look on paper the easiest team to be facing in this Europa League tie, and the fact that we've got a big game coming up on Sunday against Spurs as well. That's kind of how I see it. If we can not rest these players, obviously try and go for the win, probably substitute them off in the second half if we've got 2-3 away goals, because it's something that Grenada will have to fight back at Old Trafford next week as well. But like I said, we haven't really done that well this season. We need a trophy to kind of put a bit of glamour on our season as well. We've got games coming up in the Premier League. Liverpool at home in May. We've still got to face Tottenham this weekend as well. But little things like that, I've got to say. But yeah, that's what our predictions we've got. Mahir, thank you very much for your conversation today. Thanks for joining me on YouTube Live. Everyone who's watched on YouTube Live, if you have during your lunch break or whatever, thank you very much for watching. But yeah, let's have a good Europa League game this week. Let's see how it goes. Join us for our watch along this week. Man United versus Grenada this evening, actually. But yeah, join us for then. Take care.